Think about it. Whenever we talk about trucks and cars in India, one name automatically comes to mind: Tata Motors. This is the same company that has provided reliable vehicles to people of every class for years. But now, Tata is not just making vehicles, but is also making such a diesel engine that has created a stir in the entire auto industry. Earlier, people used to say that the era of diesel is coming to an end, but Tata Motors has shaken this thought. Their new engine is so advanced that it has the ability to compete with both petrol and electric. The question is, will this engine really change the game? This technology is not only powerful, but also promises more mileage and less pollution. And this is the reason why companies in the market are also shocked. Imagine if a diesel engine comes which is not only light for your pocket, but also supports you in long journeys. Can the craze of EVs and hybrids reduce? This is the suspense that has brought Tata Motors back in the headlines. So, in today's video, we will reveal the whole story of this new diesel engine from Tata Motors, how it works, why it is considered so special, and will it really be able to make its place in the EV revolution? Believe me, this video will change your way of thinking, so stay tuned till the end. And yes, before moving on to the video, subscribe to the channel so that such amazing news reaches you first. The journey of Tata Motors and diesel engine. The journey of Tata Motors and diesel engine is indeed one of the most interesting stories of the Indian automobile industry. Imagine, today, when we see Tata vehicles, be it small trucks, big buses, or heavy trailers, it seems that they have always been among us. But it started much earlier, when in 1954, Tata joined hands with the well-known German company, Mercedes-Benz. At that time, India was in the early stages of industrial development, and the need for commercial vehicles was increasing rapidly. In such a situation, Tata started manufacturing trucks and commercial vehicles on a large scale for the first time through this partnership. This step was historic in that era, because India was in dire need of its own reliable transportation solutions. Gradually, Tata Motors learned a lot from this partnership and understood the technology. But in the 2000s, Tata decided that now it would have to develop its own engine technology. This was a big turning point, because before this, Tata was largely dependent on external companies for technology. From the 2000s, Tata started focusing on research and development and started making its own diesel engines. These engines were specially designed keeping in mind the needs of Indian roads, weather, and long distance. It is worth noting here that in India, there has been a greater demand for diesel engines than petrol engines, because diesel vehicles give more mileage and are economical for long journeys and carrying heavy goods. Tata understood this and made its strategy in that direction. Today, Tata Motors is known for diesel engines not only in India, but all over the world. Especially in the commercial vehicle category, Tata has no competition. More than 70% of the trucks and buses running on the roads of India run on Tata's diesel engines. From small trucks like Tata Ace to large heavy-duty trailers, Tata has covered every segment. This is the reason why Tata is considered the largest manufacturer of diesel engines in India. In this journey, Tata has not only made vehicles but also earned trust. Drivers and transporters know that if the vehicle is from Tata, it will run for a long time and there will be no hassle of much maintenance. Tata's image was that it is not just a vehicle, but a partner of every small and big businessman and transporter. Tata's Commercial Diesel Engine Network. Tata's Commercial Diesel Engine Network can be considered the backbone of India's transport and logistics sector. Whenever you see big trucks, long buses, or heavy-loading vehicles on the road, the name of Tata is often associated with their heart, i.e., the engine. The most important role in this entire network is played by Tata Cummins, which is a joint venture of Tata Motors and the famous American company Cummins Inc. Cummins is one of the world's largest engine manufacturing companies, and when it joined hands with Tata, it proved to be a game-changer for India. This partnership gave India diesel engines that are powerful, reliable, and also meet modern standards. Tata Cummins mainly manufactures diesel engines for heavy trucks and buses. These are the same vehicles that do the most hard work on Indian roads, sometimes climbing mountains with a load of 40 to 50 tons, and sometimes completing a journey of 1,000 kilometers without stopping. These vehicles need engines that are not only powerful, but can also work for a long time without getting tired. This is why Tata Cummins engines are so popular. These engines also have a wide power range, from 75 horsepower, HP, for small commercial vehicles to 400 HP for large, heavy trucks and buses. This power range is flexible enough to allow Tata to build vehicles to suit every need, whether it's a mini truck for delivering goods in small towns or a Volvo-style long bus for ferrying passengers from state to state. Now, if we talk about modern standards, then these Tata engines meet the BS6 Stage 2, Bharat Stage 6 standards implemented by the Government of India. In simple words, BS6 Stage 2 is the strictest and cleanest emission standard of today, which is considered equal to European standards. A big problem of earlier diesel engines was pollution, black smoke, harmful gases like more carbon and nitrogen oxide. But now, Tata Cummins engines use technologies like SCR, selective catalytic reduction, and DPF, diesel particulate filter. These technologies not only reduce smoke, but also reduce toxic particles released into the atmosphere by 70–80%. This clearly shows that Tata Motors is not only focusing on making engines, but is also keeping in mind future needs and environmental responsibility. This is the reason why BS6 engines are running successfully on the roads of India today and are also contributing towards the government's green mobility. It is also important to understand why diesel engines are so important for commercial vehicles. Petrol engines or CNG vehicles have their place, but when it comes to carrying heavy loads and covering long distances, diesel is unmatched. This is why Tata Cummins engines remain the first choice of everyone from small traders to large transport companies. Drivers and owners know that these engines will not only give more mileage, but will also be reliable for a long time with less maintenance. In a country like India, where the transportation network is very large and most of the goods are transported by road, this engine network of Tata Cummins acts as a lifeline. This is the reason why Tata Motors' name is taken in every transport hub, every truck stop, and every logistics company today. BS6 technology and clean diesel. On hearing the name of BS6 technology and clean diesel, a question comes to the mind of many people. Can diesel really be clean? Because for a long time, diesel has meant black smoke, whirring engine noise and pollution for people. But with time, technology changed, and now the same diesel engine, which people used to call dirty fuel, has become clean and modern today. The most important role in this is played by BS6 technology, which was implemented by the Government of India from 2020. Tata Motors not only adopted it, but also made it even cleaner by adding new technologies like AdBlue and DPF. Now let's understand in simple language, what is this BS6 technology? Earlier in India, vehicles were running on standards up to BS4. BS means Bharat stage, that is, the level of pollution control. BS6 means Bharat stage 6, which is equal to European standards, Euro 6. This means that the diesel engines being made now release much less harmful gases and particles into the atmosphere than before. How does this work? For this, Tata Motors used two major technologies, AdBlue, urea-based SCR system, and DPF, diesel particulate filter. AdBlue is a special kind of fluid, which contains a mixture of urea and water. When the diesel engine runs and releases toxic gases like nitrogen oxide, high NOx, AdBlue reacts with those gases and converts them into simple nitrogen and water. This means that the gases that used to poison the air earlier now become ineffective to a large extent. On the other hand, DPF, i.e., diesel particulate filter, traps the small particles, particulate matter, emitted from the engine, due to which black smoke and dust particles do not come out. The difference is clearly visible with the advent of this technology. Nitrogen oxide and particulate matter, which were earlier the biggest problem with diesel engines, have now reduced by 70–80%. This means that the vehicles that used to release more toxic elements in the air after running 1 kilometer have now become much cleaner. This is the reason why today's Tata diesel engines are considered equal to European standards. People also have this question in their minds that, is this only for cities, or is the effect seen in villages as well? Actually, whether BS6 engines run in metro cities like Delhi, Mumbai, or on the highway of a small village, their clean technology remains the same everywhere. The only difference is that AdBlue has to be used continuously. The car owner has to fill AdBlue from time to time, just like diesel is filled. Apart from this, Tata Motors has also taken care that the performance of the vehicles is not affected due to this technology. In the olden days, people used to say that less smoke means less power. But this is not the case with BS6 engines. Tata has designed the engine in such a way that both power and mileage remain intact. That is, you will get a powerful vehicle, and the environment will also be more safe. Today, when EVs and hydrogen are being talked about everywhere in the world, even then the need for diesel engines has not ended in a country like India. Long-distance trucks, passenger buses and vehicles carrying heavy goods still run on diesel. In such a situation, the arrival of BS6 technology is a big relief. This has given the assurance that until EVs and new technology are fully spread, diesel can also do without spreading much pollution. Tata Motors has proved by investing in BS6 technology that it would no longer be right to call diesel a dirty fuel. Yes, it is not as clean as EV, but it has improved so much compared to earlier that now even diesel vehicles can be considered modern and eco-friendly. Competition between electric and CNG versus diesel. Competition between electric and CNG versus diesel is the most interesting topic in today's automobile industry. Everywhere you must be hearing that the future belongs to electric vehicles. Some say that CNG is the most economical, while some say that the era of diesel is over. But the real truth is something else. Companies like Tata Motors have clearly shown that the importance of diesel engine is still intact, and in many cases it stands ahead of both electric and CNG. First of all, let's talk about EV, i.e., electric vehicles. As soon as people hear the name of EV, people think great technology, silent drive, and better for the environment. All this is right, but the biggest problem of EVs is the charging infrastructure. You will find charging stations in big cities, but the lack of charging points in small towns, villages, or on long highway journeys is the biggest obstacle. And if we talk about heavy vehicles like trucks or buses, then charging their batteries can take hours. In such a situation, when the driver has to deliver the goods immediately or has to travel a long distance, EV is not a practical option. Now, let's talk about CNG vehicles. The biggest advantage of CNG is low fuel cost. CNG is becoming very popular in taxis, autos, and small trucks, but it also has its limitations. First, CNG stations are not available everywhere. Second, the CNG tank does not hold enough gas for long distances, due to which refilling has to be done frequently. Third, CNG vehicles often do not perform as well as diesel in carrying heavy loads. This is the reason why CNG is suitable for small cities and short distances, but not for long-haul and heavy duty. The biggest plus point of diesel is its reliable power and long distance. Whether you are climbing mountains, traveling in the desert, or traveling 1,000 kilometers with heavy load, diesel engines work tirelessly. EVs and CNG lag behind where continuous power and torque is required. This is the reason why even today, most of the trucks and buses in India run on diesel. Tata Motors has understood this entire competition very well. They have entered both EV and CNG segments. Tata's models like Nexon EV, Tiago EV, and Ace EV are available in the market today. In the CNG segment too, vehicles like Tata Tiago, iCNG, and Tigor iCNG have arrived. That means Tata has also grasped the future. But despite this, they did not give up diesel. Why? Because they know that the need for diesel has not ended in India and other countries yet. Tata's focus is to make diesel engines more modern and clean. BS6 engines are a big example of this, in which pollution has been reduced significantly due to technologies like AdBlue and DPF. This means that Tata Motors is pushing diesel along with EV and CNG. They know that until the charging and CNG fueling infrastructure is not strong across the country, diesel will remain the most reliable partner. This competition is like three runners running in a race. EV and CNG are new and smart runners who have every chance to win in the future. But for now, diesel is the old, experienced runner who can beat anyone in the long distance, and this is the reason why Tata Motors has kept diesel as its strength, even while moving into EV and CNG. Tata's new engine focus, BS6 Phase 2 and hybrid diesel, Tata Motors' new engine focus is clearly visible today. The company has understood that in the coming times, there will be a demand for not only powerful engines, but also clean and more efficient engines. With this thinking, Tata Cummins launched BS6 Phase 2 engines in 2023 to 24. These engines are a step ahead of the old BS6 engines. They have been designed in such a way that they not only give more fuel efficiency, but also focus on long life and low maintenance cost. Earlier people used to say that diesel vehicles are powerful, but their maintenance is expensive. Tata has tried to break this myth. The new engine has been fitted with such technology that the hassle of maintenance is reduced and the driver can drive without tension. Tata's focus is not limited to this. The company has understood that in the coming times, diesel alone will not work. That is why they are also doing research on flex fuel and hydrogen engines. Flex fuel means an engine that can run not only on diesel, but also on different types of fuel, such as ethanol mixture. This will reduce environmental damage and also reduce fuel costs. Hydrogen engines are considered to be a big bet for the future. Tata Motors is doing research on this and showing that it is preparing not only for today, but also for the next 20-25 years. If we talk about mileage and performance, then Tata Motors' diesel engines still give tough competition to everyone else. Diesel engines in small commercial vehicles like Tata Ace and Tata Intra are capable of giving mileage of up to 20-22 km/h. These figures are a big relief for any small businessman or transporter because fuel is the biggest part of daily expenses. Here, Tata's engines directly benefit the owners. On the other hand, if we talk about big trucks and buses, these vehicles do not depend only on mileage, but on power and torque balance. When you have to carry 40-50 tons of goods, climb hilly roads, or travel 1,000 kilometers, then in such situations, petrol and CNG engines do not perform that well. On the other hand, Tata's diesel engines give consistent power even over long distances and assure the driver that the vehicle will not fail midway. In a country like India, where the condition of roads is not the same everywhere, sometimes smooth highways, sometimes rough rural roads, the real test of vehicles takes place there. Tata engines prove to be special in this case, because they are equally reliable in cities, as well as in rural areas and difficult routes. This is the reason why transporters and drivers say that if the vehicle is from Tata, then the journey will definitely be completed. Tata Motors' new engine focus shows that the company is not in a mood to abandon diesel technology, but wants to make it better and maintain it for years to come. From BS6 Phase 2 engines to flex fuel and hydrogen, Tata is making it clear that its goal is not just to sell vehicles, but to provide solutions according to the needs of India and the world. And when it comes to mileage and performance, Tata engines still pass every test. This is the reason why no one can compete with diesel at the moment, and Tata Motors will remain a big player in this game in the times to come. Need for diesel in the Indian market. If there is anything that can be called the backbone of India's automobile sector, it is diesel. Even today, about 70% of the goods that reach from one place to another in India are transported through trucks and buses running on diesel. Imagine what will happen if diesel engines suddenly disappear. Goods coming out of factories will not be able to reach the markets. Farmers will not be able to take their crops to the mandis, and even everyday items will not reach the cities on time. This is why diesel is not just a fuel, but the lifeline of India's economy. Now, the question arises that when the whole world is talking about EVs and green technology, then why is there so much need for diesel in India? The answer to this is our country's geography and infrastructure. India is a very big and diverse country. There are long highways, hilly areas, deserts, and lakhs of small villages and towns. EVs are currently working well in cities, but are not practical for long distances and rural areas. The reason is clear: lack of charging stations, more time to charge the battery and power problem when traveling long distances. On the other hand, CNG is also limited, because CNG stations are not available everywhere, and its capacity to carry heavy loads is not as much as diesel. For this reason, Tata Motors has clearly understood that it would be foolish to give up diesel in the Indian market. Tata's strong point has always been its commercial vehicles, whether it is small trucks like Tata Ace or heavy trucks and buses with power up to 400 HP. All of these are still dependent on diesel. Tata is continuously capturing this market and strengthening its hold. This is the reason why transporters and logistics companies first choose Tata's diesel engine. But the question ahead is even more important. Will diesel last? The world's trend is now clearly towards electric. Big countries like Europe, America, and China are promoting EVs, and many countries have even planned to stop diesel vehicles in the coming years. But the situation is different in countries like India. It will take at least 15 to 20 more years for EVs to become popular here and for charging infrastructure to be built everywhere. Till then, the need for diesel will remain. Tata Motors understands this change. It is also gradually moving towards EV and hydrogen technology. Today, Tata has electric cars like Nexon EV, Tiago EV, and the company is also researching hydrogen engines. But despite all this, Tata has no plans to give up diesel, because the company knows that diesel is still the bread and butter in the Indian market. As long as long-distance and heavy load carrying is a concern, diesel will remain the most reliable. The biggest example is heavy-duty trucks and buses. These vehicles have to travel hundreds of kilometers every day and carry tons of goods. EVs or CNG are not able to meet their needs. Charging an EV truck takes a lot of time, and the power and torque of a CNG truck is still not equal to diesel. This is why heavy-duty transport will continue to rely on diesel for the foreseeable future. So it is clear that diesel is not just a fuel for India, but will remain an essential support for many years to come. Yes, there will be a change, and the scope of EVs will increase, but the importance of diesel will not end. Tata Motors has understood this truth, and hence it is working on all three fronts of diesel, EV, and hydrogen simultaneously. This strategy will keep Tata as the leader of India's auto industry in the future as well. When it comes to customers, the first question that comes to mind is, what is the benefit to them? Earlier, the image of diesel vehicles was that yes, they are powerful, but emit more smoke, make more noise, and are expensive to maintain. But now the picture has changed a lot. Today's diesel vehicles give more mileage than ever before. Tata Motors has designed its engines in such a way that small commercial vehicles like Ace or Intra easily get mileage of up to 20-22 km/h. This is a big advantage for small businessmen and transporters because fuel consumes the most in daily expenses. More mileage means direct savings. Apart from this, now the maintenance cost of diesel vehicles has also reduced. Earlier, it was believed that diesel engines are more complex, so one has to go to the workshop again and again. But Tata Motors has changed this perception by using new technology and better parts. BS6 Phase 2. Engines not only emit less pollution, but also run for a long time without major repairs. This means that the car owner no longer has to spend money again and again. If you have to travel long distances, carry heavy goods, or cross rough roads, then even today, diesel has no competition. EVs and CNG vehicles are fine for cities and short routes, but when it comes to long-haul transport, every driver says, "Only diesel will do." This is the reason why Tata Motors diesel engines are the first choice of everyone from small shopkeepers to large logistics companies. The big question is whether this new diesel engine of Tata Motors will be able to stop the growing craze of EVs and CNG? Will diesel once again become India's favorite fuel in the coming years? Or will the EV revolution force Tata to keep diesel as just a backup? The reality is that diesel will be needed for the next 15-20 years, especially for trucks, buses, and long-distance transport. Tata Motors has understood this, which is why it is also working on EVs and hydrogen, but without abandoning diesel. So, the story is clear. Diesel is not dead yet, but has become more powerful and reliable than ever before. But what will happen next? Only time will tell. Maybe diesel will become number one again, or maybe EVs will gradually take its place. And this suspense makes this journey more exciting. Before ending the video, I have just one request to you. Subscribe to the channel so that you get such interesting and useful things first.